Hello and welcome to Nebula Talks. Before we begin, we have a few updates and reminders for you. We would love to have you be part of our Nebula community. And you can do so by logging on to www.nebula.com, where you can join communities related to your area of interest, register for upcoming Nebula Talks, book one-to-one skylifts, and view other upcoming events. You can also take this opportunity to connect with fellow learners or the speaker by sending a connection request. When you connect with the speaker, you will be able to contact them directly as well as receive updates about their upcoming talks. Kindly note that during this session, you will not be able to switch on your camera or unmute your mic. To ask questions during the talk, go to the audience chat, type your question, and select Post Your Question. If your question has not been answered during the talk, you will be notified once it's been answered, or if your question has not been answered during the talk, you can go to www.nebula.com and spin a quest, and your questions will be answered. Thank you for joining us today. We hope this talk broadens your horizons and takes you to new learning heights.
Hello, everyone. Hi. All right, I am visible and I'm audible. Hi, hello, hola todos. Finally, so sorry to keep you all waiting. Please keep commenting as you can, if you can hear me, if you can see me well. Estoy bien. Y how are you guys? Today it's a very gloomy day where I am today. All right. I'm so sorry for the technical glitch that happened, and we shall begin quickly. I'm just going to wait for another minute for other people to join. All right. So while we wait for others to join, since it's already like 5:15, I'm sure that people might have come and join it live. But anyway, so while we wait for others to join for another minute, what is that one thing that comes to your mind when you think of Spanish? Like if I say the word Spanish, what word comes to your mind? If you could just send it to me in the chat. Breaking Bad in Mexico. Yeah, true. All the Latin songs and all these Latin American or Spanish series. That's great. When I think of Spanish, I think even before even before I watched Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, my first encounter with Spanish was when I listened to the song by Ricky Martin, which was Livin La Vida Loca. I think that was my first encounter with Spanish. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to begin the talk now. First of all, bienvenidos a tu clase de español. Welcome to your Spanish class. Today in this talk, I'm going to talk about like everything that you need to know about Spanish as a language. Bella Ciao is your favorite? Yeah, it's a very catchy tune. All right, great. Okay. Very nice. So let's begin. All right. So yeah, in this talk, I'm going to talk about everything that you need to know about the Spanish language in the sense things that we know and things that we don't know. And there's a lot of information when it comes to Spanish. So let's see what is important to us and what are the correct reasons to start learning Spanish. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Hi. Okay. I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see. All right. Okay. So while I am presenting, so we'll have a question answer session at the end of the talk. So while I'm presenting, we can focus on that. All right. I'm going to share my screen now. All right. Where is it? Got it. Okay. All right. Spanish 101, all that you need to know about Spanish language. Let's go. Like I said, my first encounter with Spanish was rather through a Latin American influence. So a lot of people got aware of Spanish and Spain as a country after the Bollywood movie that released, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, in India, right? But that's not all that is to Spanish. There's a lot more, and let's see. All right, we've already done this. So Spain is officially, like, Spain is of course the English term for the country. Other than that, globally, Spain is also called as España. So wherever you are, I mean, if there are no like less people around you, or if you are alone, I'd rather prefer you repeat the Spanish words that you're going to learn in the talk today. So Spain is called as España. Okay. All right. Let's see. Um, why do we see a map on the screen right now? Why is geographical location and history important before you start learning a foreign language, not just Spanish? All right, so I did my first foreign language was, I think it was German. I did a little bit of that in school. I did Japanese. Then I went to Spanish. After that as well, I did French as a foreign language. From all of these experiences of learning a foreign language, otherwise I'm not a very history kind of a person, but I realized that it's very important, it's essential for us to understand the location and historical importance of a nation or a country, in order to understand why they speak the way they do, and what are the influences and composition of the language, right? So the reason why you're seeing the map of Spain right now is that Spain, even if it looks like a really small, it's quite significant in, like, in the entire, uh, on the world map. It is landlocked from one side. So you have France, it shares a common border with France and is separated by the Pyrenees mountain range, or Andorra. Why do we want to know this, right? It's because this area, when you go towards this area, you'll find people speaking Spanish, of course, but there'll also be like French speakers. You see, the accent will be different. Other than that, Spain has water bodies all around it, so that is, it makes it a really popular destination because of all the beaches. It has probably like a very long coastline. Apart from that, it also like shares a common boundary with Portugal, right? But it is insane. I mean, the moment you step in Portugal from Spain, you can see that a lot of things change. The culture, the language, the way it is spoken, everything changes. So this is why I think geography is really important. All right. Apart from that, talking about like the history. So Spanish as a language has a lot of Arabic influence. It's because Arabs a lot of years ago, they invaded Spain and they stayed in Spain for quite long. And before they left a significant amount of their influence on Spanish architecture, on the language. There are a lot of words that you'll find very similar in Spanish and Arabic. So if you go towards the south of Spain is where you'll feel that. All right. But the Spanish that we're going to learn, or we usually learn, is what is spoken in the central part of Spain, which is in Madrid, where I was. I had the privilege to stay in Madrid for a year. I was teaching English to Spanish students, and that is how I understood the process of learning a foreign language much better. So yeah, this Spanish, which is spoken in Madrid, is what it's a neutral accent. So this is the global accent that is accepted. You speak this accent, you speak with this accent in Madrid, in Spain, in Latin America, in the US, wherever you go, everybody will understand you. Although Spanish is spoken ideally in, I think, more than 13 different ways, depending on whether you go to the north of Spain, you go to the south. They speak a little faster in the north, south, the southern accent is different. Barcelona, which is like very popular amongst football fans, of course, like Real Madrid and Barcelona. Uh, Barcelona has, it's a part of Catalonia now. They speak Catalan as their first language. Although even if you go with your Spanish, which is neutral, they will still understand you. All right. But Barcelona is still fine because it's a tourist city. Going towards like a lot of parts in Spain, you will need or you'll need like a neutral accent to Spanish also. Right. That's about the history and geography, not very boring things. All right. I'm hoping. Okay. Uh, there are a lot of things that we know about Spanish, a lot of things we do not know about Spanish. All right. The thing that I think 99% of the people who come to me for classes, they already know for a fact that Spanish is currently the second most spoken language in the world. In terms of native speakers, a lot of people ask me, I mean, how is it possible? Why not English? Of course, Mandarin has to be the first for obvious reasons, but why Spanish and not English? It's because of the amount of native Spanish speakers. 496 million Spanish speakers in the world. It makes it a really popular language, especially around US and of course Southern America. It is a proven study that by 2060 uh, the US, we're the second largest Spanish speaking country in the world. Currently, it's Mexico, I believe. I mean, why? A lot of people are traveling there for work, a lot of business and trade and companies growing. So if at all you're planning to go to the US or study or want to settle down, I think Spanish is your go to language. Apart from that, by 2100, I mean, 690 million people are expected to learn this language that you can learn right now, and we be all well prepared and probably teach it like I do, or use the language to your own benefit, right? Apart from that, I think 21 Spanish speaking countries in the world right now, including Equatorial Guinea in Africa. So, I mean, that overall, I mean, why am I sharing these facts? Is because this is the popularity of the language. We in India are not much aware of it. Probably we are right now. If you Google all these things, you'll get like all these infographics and factual facts about Spanish. But what am I taking out from this is that it's popular. So if I am learning this even today as a hobby or something that I just want to, I want to upskill a little bit, even if it's not significant to you right now, at some point in the future, it will be. Right? As we are speaking right now, I mean, as I am talking right now, 24 million people are learning Spanish, which means that it is probably the fourth most taught language in the world right now. So, I mean, those are significant reasons, I believe. Apart from that, coming to the information about the language, Spanish is known. So, Spanish is one term in English, and the Spanish term for Spanish is español. I have made it easier on the screen. Say español, all right? Or it's also called as castellano. I'm repeating it slowly so that you can also learn how to say it. Even if you're not taking anything from this talk, you know that Spanish is globally called as español or castellano. All right. Español, because of course the global term for it. Castellano, because Spain was indeed it comes from the term the Kingdom of Castile. All right. So when Spain was a kingdom, that was called as Castile. So the language which comes from it is Castellano. All right. It sounds, for people who have done French, like for people who've done French and Italian or even heard of it, you find it very similar. All these Romance languages are very similar to each other, even though they have like distinct, there are differences, rather. But it's also because it's part of the Indo-European family. Why is it important to us? Number one, if you've already done French, Spanish is your next language. You're going to learn it faster than others, or Italian for that matter. Okay. Apart from that, the composition of the language, it's important to know what you're learning. The composition of the language, so Latin is where it all comes from. Latin is the core of Spanish. So it's 70% Latin and approximately 30%. Like you'll find different facts everywhere. But approximately 30% of this language is Greek, Italian, Sardinian, and Arabic. Also a little bit of Turkish. So I think it's all because of the history of the country. Okay. So it makes it a very, it's a very fun language rather. According to different regions, in Spain, There's a lot of, so Spain, of course, is also divided into regions. There are approximately 13 plus ways of speaking Spanish, dialects or pronunciation, accent is what we say. We're going to learn, like, whatever we're going to learn in today's talk and overall is a neutral Spanish. Right? Okay, all right. So that's about, that was a little bit about Spanish as a language. Mm, but just a lot of times, nobody wakes up in between. Like, nobody wakes up one morning and says, okay, let's learn a foreign language. It's not how it is, right? We always have a motivation. Most of the times, it's because of our career, because of our CV, because I want to travel to another country. Very rarely do people, have this ambition. Okay, today I'm going to wake up and today I'm going to learn Spanish happened to me, for example, just because, I'll be very honest, just because my mom said, okay, go learn a foreign language, it's very beneficial. I was like, okay, which foreign language do I learn? And I researched a little bit, and at that time, I'm talking about like 7-8 years ago, 90% of the people around me were taking French as their foreign language, as their first foreign language. So I was like, okay, I am not a yes sir, not a follower. Look, okay, if everybody is taking French, let me look for something else. And then the next name that pops up is Spanish. I started learning Spanish approximately 8 years ago. But while I began learning this language, or while I was deciding to learn a foreign language, there were a lot of misconceptions that I went through or I came across. I did not have them, but a lot of people have these misconceptions. Let's see them. Correct. First one is that you have to be like Einstein. You need to be extremely intelligent to learn a foreign language fast. You know, I want to learn it. The main motive of learning a foreign language is always just I want to start speaking. If I'm going to another country, I'm going to start speaking. You don't have to be extremely intelligent for it. What you need to be is disciplined and committed to the language, practicing it, and finding the correct tutor. Right? So you don't have to be like Einstein. No matter, irrespective of your age, your caliber, your grades in school or college or anywhere, like irrespective of your background, foreign languages are very welcoming. Just, it is a lot of people have this misconception because we started learning English as our first foreign language in school or however. The learning pattern was different. When you start learning a foreign language like this, at this point, after you've learned English as your first foreign language, or any other language for that matter, you will see the difference, that the learning pattern is also different. So it's not just intelligence, it is also dedication, passion, commitment, and a good tutor. All right. The second myth that I want to bust right now is that children learn it faster. Well, I agree. Children learn everything faster, the good and bad, and in between. They learn everything fast. But how, I don't know. Some people think that adults take a lot of time to learn that language. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I have been teaching Spanish for the last 7 years. I was practically too young when I started. I am young today, but I'm not. So, my smartest, I'm not saying smart, okay, let's not use that word. My fastest Spanish language learner in front of me, my student, she is 45 years old. She's a 45, I think 50-year-old mother of two. She has learned Spanish faster than absolutely anybody else that I have ever taught. And I have taught students in India. I've taught students in Spain. 45-year-old learning faster than all the other kids and all the other youngsters. I mean, going back to school is not uncool, because it's not you going back to school. The learning process matters a lot. All right. So please, even if you are 70 and you want to learn Spanish, please join the class. If you are 60 and you want to join, please join the class. Like I said, foreign languages are extremely welcome. Number 3, I don't want to go abroad. I mean, so I don't need another language. No. You need it. You need it for your overall personality development. You need it for your your CV to look beautiful. Okay, when I talk about CV and resume, I'm targeting like youngsters and college students probably want to pursue masters or you know, students basically. Your CV, even if you're not going to go abroad, is going to look beautiful. It's going to look, you're going to be a cut above the rest when you have a foreign language, because it opens new opportunities for you. There are a lot of Spanish companies in India right now who are looking for interpreters and translators in human resources, for example, in medicine and in tourism. So it's not just about you going abroad. And if I'm not talking about like the youngsters, and I'm talking about everybody in general, I think just learning a foreign language is a stress buster for that 1 hour or 1.5 hour, or even right now when you're listening to me. If you are listening to me attentively, you will realize that you're not thinking of anything else. You're listening to me and you're learning something. So I think learning a foreign language gives you that essential break from a monotonous lifestyle. Apart from that, another myth is that I don't speak English. uh, this is a fear that a lot of students ideally come with when they come to me. Believe me, trust me, I have taught a man. He was I think 50-year-old. I mean, y'all must be wondering why are all her students 50, but yeah. So a 50-year-old man who could not speak English at a very high position in a Spanish company, who could only speak an Indian language, that's Marathi. I have also taught him Spanish, and he spoke Spanish really well, because even though, yes, it's a plus point if you are speaking English, but if you don't have it, don't worry. They are two standalone languages, they were not made together. Yes, Spanish has a lot of influence from English, but it's not all English, right? So don't worry about that English part. For all that matters, if you do not know English well, if you think that okay, I can speak but I'm not sure about the grammar, when you start learning Spanish, you're going to go back to your basics of English as well. You will know, okay, what is the conjugate, what is where does is mr come from, what is a sentence structure in English. So you are revising two languages together. Another myth is that, oh, I have a Google Translator. Google Translate, I have no problem with Google Translate, all right. If you need it for like once or twice, it's fine. But why should I learn the whole language? You know, at the moment, even if I'm traveling, I'm just going to go to the Google Translator and translate stuff. You know, there are a lot of other translators. No? A human experience is what you need. You need to experience learning the language from the beginning to the end to be able to master it. Google Translator gives you direct translations. Many times, 90% of the times, they do not work. They they will let you complete your task, but if you want to learn the language, then it's not how it works. And similarly, there are a lot of applications and online resources to learn languages. I have nothing against them. Probably I might have referred a lot of online resources, and even in my own classes when I conduct them, I do take references from all these amazing people who are creating content on Spanish learning. Why classes? Imagine you're watching, you're doing this self study course in Spanish, and you have so many doubts. You don't know how to pronounce this, or you don't know how to pronounce that. You have some questions on the language, on the country itself. I mean, um, how are we going to okay, in real time, okay, how are you going to learn the accent, the pronunciation, your doubts, and just the overall? I mean, I am somebody who likes human interference, and I believe that at least to form a strong foundation of any foreign language, not just Spanish, you need to start from the beginning. You need a good tutor or a good person who has good teaching skills, a process that has been created to enjoy the language, not sit in a class and make it boring. Okay. Which brings me to the fact that, wow, what are my top three reasons of learning Spanish, and why is it easier for us Indians? Okay, let's see. Okay. Um, the first and foremost thing that I always think of when I think of Spanish is pronunciation. I have, like I mentioned earlier, I have learned approximately. I think I can speak in 5 languages. including Indian and of course the English. So English, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, and Urdu. Then you have French and you have Spanish. Apart from that, I've done German and Japanese, like I said. From all these languages, if I were to compare, what was the easiest that I started learning to pronounce? Okay. Apart from the Indian languages, because that's what we've been doing at home. Apart from that, I think Spanish has been the easiest to pronounce. I'm not exaggerating because I'm a tutor. I have been a student, like everybody starts from there, right? So, pronunciation, common words, and the script itself, English. All right. So, I mean, the English script is, of course, all of us know that they don't have like a separate script for writing. So, that is one plus point. Second is pronunciation. All right. So, this word, okay, this word is autobus. I'm saying autobus in English. In Spanish, all it becomes autobus, it becomes autobus. Autobus. Autobus, autobus. All right. And what does it mean? It means a bus. Okay. Spanish is not that easy, but there are a lot of words. By lot, I mean a lot of words which are common in English and Spanish. They have been taken from Spanish, and only the pronunciation has been changed. Okay, so the difference between Spanish and English is between the vowels. The Spanish is a phonetic language. It's a very flowy. It's a very expressive language. You'll be able to listen to all your vowels correctly. So this A, E, I, O, U in English is A, E, O, U in Spanish. A, E, I, O, U, A, E, O, U. This is what makes the pronunciation different. All right. And apart from that, we have 4 new letters. So approximately 30 alphabets in Spanish as compared to 26 or 27 in English. So 4 new letters. That's all. I mean, you will not sound native from day one. I mean, you not pronounce it as correctly as a native person from day one, but you will sound Spanish. I mean, for sure. Autobus, autobus. That's all. So there are like a lot of other words. For example, animal, animal, which becomes animal. Traffic becomes trafico. Traffic becomes trafico. You have chocolate, which becomes chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate. It's just, as you can see, it's the vowels. And then football, which is probably one of them, which is why Spain is also quite popular, because of its Latin American popular footballers, Messi, and all that. So football becomes football, football, football. Right. So a lot of words have been taken from English. That is my top reason of choosing Spanish, and I kept choosing it for like 8 years now. And then you have the second reason is that Spanish is a gender and quantity sensitive language. Well, it's amazing for us Indians. Okay, for whoever who is in the talk right now, if you can speak Hindi well, if you can speak Marathi well, or even your own mother tongue, there are chances that you are aware of the differentiation between genders and quantities in languages. Okay, for example, in English, it's a different spelling altogether. You have BOY boy, you have GIRL girl, right? In Marathi, if you are from Maharashtra, in Marathi you have mulga and mulgi. So there's a ga which becomes gi. Similarly, if you speak Hindi, you have ladka which becomes ladki. Ladka, so the ka changes to ki. Similarly, in Spanish, you have chico, it becomes chica. O and a. So ka and ki, O and A. We are pretty much aware that things change like these. But if I were to put like a British speaker with me, so if I were learning Spanish with a Britisher or an English speaking person, there are chances that I would understand this concept faster. So that works in my favor. Okay. Similarly, for plural, for plural you have a combination. So chico, chicos, and chicas. So you're adding an S to make it plural. Okay. So ideally, all you're doing is following that boys and girls rule. but it's just like a combination of both Hindi and English in this, right? We're not a lot of teachers, you'll find a lot of people, a lot of professors who say that, okay, while learning a new language, do not take references from others, completely learn this originally as it is. No, I have observed as a student when I was learning that if I'm writing down certain words in English and references or pronunciations in English, it's helping me learn faster. So I have incorporated that in my teaching style, and it's not a loss, at least until now. All right, so that was the second reason. Third reason is the similar sentence structure in English and Spanish. I told you, right? You will be going back to your English basics as well. So this is like English, a sentence structure is made with a subject, usually is made with a subject, a verb, and an object. All right. The boy, subject, is verb. Spanish, not an object ideally, but the third part of it. So the boy is Spanish, or the boy eats an apple, for example. Similarly, in Spanish, you have el chico es español. El chico, sujeto, es verbo, español, objeto. All right. I am not saying this is 100% true. There are variations, just like there are in English, but this is how the general rules go. So it makes it very easy for us to understand sentence structures, and that is why from day one, from session one of your class, if you enroll, um, you will be making sentences from day one, because you're already aware of it in your own language, right? So this is the reason for your top three reasons why I find Spanish one of the easiest languages to learn. Okay? All right. Having said that, I mean, I have some phrases. I have some words that I, over a period of time, that I have, liked or used to sound native, to flaunt a little bit, especially when I was in Spain. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. So, all the people who are watching right now, I'm just going to say, oh, there are a lot of questions. I've just taken a break. There are a lot of questions. I will answer them in the question answer section at the end, all right? But right now, I'm just going to ask you something about, like, what are the words that you guys know in Spanish? Can you just type them here? Any words that y'all are aware of? I think somebody said entiendo. Vale. A la Madrid. I just read that. All right. Okay. Oh, see. Wow. All right. So great. I mean, these are the common words that we usually know. Let's see my favorite ones. Okay. I'm very excited to teach you all these. I'm just hoping that wherever you are, you can repeat it after me. If it'll give you a good experience of how it'll sound on your tongue when you actually start learning. Okay. All right. So, first one. Hola. Okay, say hola. Buenos dias. I'm pointing at myself because it's easier to pronounce. Say buenos dias. Hola, buenos dias. It just means hi, good morning. Buenos dias is something that you can use absolutely at any given moment of the day. Yes, there are other variations for good evening and good afternoon, but it's just a very casual and very quick way to just greet somebody. Hola, buenos dias. ¿Qué tal? You are in the supermarket, you say hola, buenos dias. Okay, so hi, good morning. Right, so that's my first go-to expression when I want to sound native. Uh, Second one is the one that I use the most in my classes, irrespective of the level of the Spanish class. If it's A1 or C1, doesn't matter. I'll be saying vale, 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 vale. Right? Vale is okay. It's pronounced as vale. You will usually find Spaniards say when it's V, you say instead of that you say b, so it becomes vale. Okay, vale means okay. Everything you want to agree with, you say vale. Another thing, another thing that you want to use when you want to agree with something or acknowledge something is genial. Genial. This G G in Spanish, J in Spanish, they have a distinct, you might have observed, they have a distinct accent, the way it is, the pronunciation. Right now, in this word, G is pronounced as H. It comes from the, how do you say? I don't know if you've watched the movie My Name is Khan, if there are any Bollywood fans here. From the epiglottis. Genial. Okay, but for beginners, you can keep saying K or like a H. Genial. Okay, so genial is your second one. That means cool. All right. If I'm saying, okay, let's go to the movies. Genial. Cool. Okay. That's my third favorite phrase, and it's very easy as well. Next one is me gusta. Okay, so somebody is coming with some kind of, I don't know. Do you want the blue or the pink t-shirt? I don't know. So blue t-shirt. Okay, me gusta. I like it. Me gusta. I don't like it. No me gusta. Me gusta. No me gusta. Okay. I hope that y'all are repeating it, even if not aloud, because it sounds a little strange if you're saying things just like that. But even in your head, if you're repeating, you're learning something. Me gusta. No me gusta. Okay. Next one, my next favorite. I mean, football fans, whoever y'all are watching, football fans, vamos. You know, or a lot of times they also say vamos, vamos. Okay. Vamos is let's go. Any plan that is made and you want to begin it, you say vamos. Or any impromptu decision to be made, vamos. Okay. You want to go, like suddenly you feel like going to the restaurant with your friend, you say, oh, hola, can we go? The person will say, vale, vamos, vamos. All right, let's go. Vamos. Or vamos. All right. Next one is something that after ballet, this is what I say the most in Spanish. Despite, like, even when I began learning Spanish, where like 7 years ago when I was a kid, this is what I used to keep saying, Dios mío, Dios mío. Anything happens, Dios mío. Dios mío is oh my God, OMG in the millennial Gen Z language. Dios mío, OMG. Okay. So it's just when you want to exclaim, say Dios mío. Next one is one of the most beautiful phrases in Spanish. Extremely beautiful. Why? Because it's just one word with a lot of strength. It is ojalá. Ojalá. It's just like genial. Ojalá. Ojalá is what you do or what you say when you have crossed your fingers. Okay? It means I hope, I wish. Right? Ojalá. It is also said usually when when you're expecting something good to happen, or when you are wishing for something good to happen to you, you say, ojalá, ojalá. Okay. It's a very hopeful word. That is why I love it. That is why I have put it here. Next one is something that I say when I'm talking to like similar aged people who can speak in Spanish with me. My students, for example, my advanced level students, B2, C1 students, when I'm talking to them, I'm like, ay, te lo juro. Te lo juro. Te lo juro. It's like this. It's when we do this here, I swear. Okay. I swear is te lo juro. It's just a sentence starter, You want to say, I swear I saw that man yesterday. Te lo juro. Te lo juro. Okay. It's very colloquial. It's very local. Right. Next one is, I think most of us can use this in different situations. Even if this talk does not motivate you to learn Spanish immediately, this is something that you can use. Also, I'm going to, like after we finish, I'm going to give you like a minute, like a few seconds to take a picture if you want of this. Okay. If you're traveling to Spain or Spanish speaking country. The next one is salud. Salud. We use this when we want to say cheers. Cheers to anything. Cheers to good health. Cheers with a beverage in your hand, or cheers to your good spirits. You say salud. Usually, ideally, it is said in like a restaurant, like while you're eating, or while you're drinking with your friends and family. You say salud. It means to good health. Cheers to good health. Salud literally means health. So you can say, instead of saying cheers next time, maybe you can teach your friends and family to say salud. Vale? Okay. Next one is ¿qué tal? You might have heard this when I was speaking. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Okay, 2 words. What's up? The most used um, phrase even in English. Every time you want to say, like, when you want to text somebody, you say, hi, what's up? Hi, what's up? What's up? What's up? That's the same. ¿Qué tal is your equivalent for what's up, and it is used as frequently as what's up in English. Okay. ¿Qué tal? It can also mean like how are you doing? How's everything going? Okay. The next one is perdón. Perdón. The r in Spanish is a tongue rolling pronunciation, so you should feel while you are pronouncing it. R. Perdón. Okay. Perdón is very useful, very versatile in nature. Ideally, it is used to say sorry or excuse me, but you can also use it to gain attention, somebody's attention. Perdón. Okay. Oh, perdón, sorry, I did something wrong. Perdón. It's for apologizing for small things. Not, of course, like not very serious things, but things that you've done by mistake. Okay, so that's perdón, and it also means excuse me. Next is something that you can answer when somebody asks you ¿qué tal? That is ¿qué tal? If you're asking me, I'll say estoy bien, estoy bien, estoy bien. Okay, or I could say estoy estupendo. Estupendo. You can see Spanish is a language, the way it is written, it is pronounced in the same way. Okay, if you know how to pronounce the vowels correctly, you can read the word and pronounce it like almost like a native. So estoy bien is I am fine. Estoy estupendo is I am awesome. I am awesome. And last one is estoy fatal. Okay. Estoy fatal. I am terrible at this moment. I'm not saying that I am terrible as a person. I'm saying that I'm terrible. I feel terrible. Estoy fatal. Okay. The next one is a sentence filler. Everybody, like, they use it, Spaniards use it when they want to like fill in the sentence. Before beginning, you say, pues bueno, vamos. Okay. Pues nada, vamos. Okay. So it's just like maybe like a sound, maybe like a word which ideally means well, fine. Okay. Bueno is fine or good. So pues, bueno. And then you can begin. So imagine you're speaking English, but you want to, put that Spanish touch. Just begin it with pues, bueno. Pues, let's eat in a restaurant. Okay. Just sound more Spanish. And the last one I think is, claro. Claro. It's like a sudden realization and you want to express in Spanish, you say, claro. Okay. So, oh, right. Claro, claro, you can use it again for acknowledging things. Instead of vale, claro. Okay, yeah, that's clear with me. All right. Okay. All righty. Before going to the next section, I'm just seeing. Wait. Okay, thank you. Perdón, similar to pardon. All right. Okay. So those are my favorite Spanish phrases to sound like a pro or to sound like a local. Up next is some Spanish numbers from 0 to 9. All right. Let's see. A lot of people, when they are learning Spanish, they are already, before learning, if you're from India, that is, before learning, you already know the first 3 numbers because you've heard them a lot of times somehow. We don't remember when, but we know. We know that 1, 2, 3 is uno, dos, tres, right? But it's probably, I think I heard uno, dos, tres for the first time in some song. Yeah, it was dos, tres, da 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 da, Maria. Yeah, and that was when I heard these numbers first. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3 is pretty much known in Spanish. But let's see the others. All right, I'm gonna read it and repeat it twice. Okay. First one, cero. The first one is only a little sounds too Spanish. It is CERO. Spanish has a pronunciation which is distinct from English. The C is called as a tongue in between the teeth pronunciation. So you take your tongue and you put it in between your teeth. You say cero, cero. It's very funny. People, when they learn it for the first time, they don't want to do it. You can say cero, it's fine. But if you want to start, I believe in pushing the students to be as native as possible. So you say cero, right? Uh, uno, cero, uno. Just how it goes. A, E, I, O, U. Vowels, remember them. Number 2, dos, dos. Number 3, tres, tres. R is a tongue rolling pronunciation, remember? So tres. Okay, so cero, uno, dos, tres. And then you have number 4, which you can remember it as like a quarter, like a circle quarter, right? So it is cuatro, cuatro. Okay, cuatro. Like I said, the R is a tongue rolling pronunciation. Say cuatro. Next one, it's you just have to remember it. I could not come up with any shortcuts for cinco. If you have them, please put them in the chat later. This number 5 is called as cinco. It's the tongue in between the teeth pronunciation, cinco. Okay. So as you can also see, C is pronounced in 2 ways in Spanish. One is th and the other is normal, k, cinco. Okay. Next is 6. Number 6 becomes seis. Seis. This is easiest to remember if you're remembering like saying is. Say is. English wala is. Okay, so seis. Right? Next one, the number which everybody confuses after an hour of learning it. 7. Number 7 is siete. Siete. Okay? And you can, people remember it like they mix seis and siete together. So it's important to remember 6 as seis. Okay. Number 8 is ocho. Ocho. Okay. And number 9 is nueve. Nueve. V sounds like B in Spanish a lot of times. So you're going to say nueve. Okay. Cero, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve. Right? Those are your numbers. Mis dos amigos. Oh, I read the comment. Yes, mis dos amigos, 2 friends of mine. Mis dos amigos. Yes, there's a comment there. Okay. All right. So those were the Spanish numbers, and that's how you count in Spanish till 9. The last thing that we're going to learn before I open it for like Q&A, if you have any questions, is colors in Spanish. Okay. What I'll do is I'll leave these things in the discussion chat later so that you all can have it as a reference. I'll leave these notes there. Okay. Colors in Spanish. Wow. Spanish itself, like Spain itself, is a country full of colors. And when you think of Spanish, and if you know a little bit about the country, you'll know that it's all about reds and yellows and very colorful language, very colorful people, very full of life, and music and culture and food and spice and very colorful country. That is why I thought maybe we should do colors before we end the talk. Okay, so the first color that we're looking at, again, I'm going to repeat the word. So black is what we're looking at. Black is called, okay, no offense, but it's called a negro. Negro. Okay, it's a very debatable word, and a lot of debates have already happened, but this is how it's called. The color black is called as negro. Okay, up next is the color brown, which is called as marron. Marron. Okay, so negro, black, marron, brown. Next is gray. Gray is gris. Gris. Okay. Next is white. White is blanco. Blanco. Okay. Next is my favorite color too. Like my favorite color, ideally, because it's really bright. It's amarillo. Amarillo. Double L in Spanish is year. Okay. Double L in Spanish is year. So it's always when you're doing when you eat a quesadilla, it's not quesadilla, it's quesadilla. Okay, so amarillo, color yellow, coming back to colors. Next is orange. Orange is anaranjado. Anaranjado. You can also remember it easily as naranja, very similar to narangi. You can see it's yeah, a lot of influences. Okay, so orange is anaranjado or naranja. Up next is red. Red is rojo. Rojo. The J, the G, her, rojo. Okay. Next is pink. Next is pink, and it's called as rosado. Rosado. Okay. Purple. Purple is morado. Morado. We can also say purpura. Very funny. Purpura. Okay. Next is blue. Blue is azul. The sky is blue. Azul. Sky is azul. Okay. The Z in Spanish is also, it's pronounced as sir many times, right? And the last one, the last color, the color of nature is verde. 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 Okay. So black, negro, brown, marron, gray, gris, white, blanco, yellow, amarillo, orange, naranja or anaranjado, red is rojo, pink is rosado, purple, morado or púrpura, blue is azul, and green is verde. All right. So I think we've already spent 45 minutes together. So I'm quickly going to do preguntame. Preguntame is ask me. Pregunta me. Ask me. Okay. It's a Q&A session. There are 2 questions already that I will answer. And then if you have any other questions, you can just, ask me in the chat. And apart from that, okay, so I'm going to stop the sharing maybe. Okay. So there are 2 questions here. I have one, which is what certifications do we have for Spanish? There is, first of all, getting a private certificate from India if you want to work in Spain. So all these academies or private certifications that you might have is okay. It's fine. But if you want to ideally update your CV with something significant, you can go for the DELE. It's called as DELE. It's the official government official examination of the Spanish government. It has all these levels from A1 to C1, A1 to C2. Sorry, perdón. Okay, so A1 to C2. Spanish government exam, DELE. I will drop this as a message after the talk for people to go and refer to. Okay, so you can whatever classes. Okay, so ideally, before I go to the next question, I am going to teach on Nebula. So there are personal guidance sessions that you can take, and there are group sessions as well that you can take, right? You can send me a message on the platform and we can go ahead with it. Why I'm mentioning this right now is because whatever you're going to learn in my classes, it's going to be, the content is going to be the same as the Spanish diploma exam. After you've learned a significant amount of Spanish, let's just say till B1 or B2, that is when you need to take your certification for government exam. If you're doing the classes with me, all you will need to do is prepare for the examination part of it, the question papers. The content is, we follow the same content as the government. Okay. All right. Darshan, thank you. The presentation looks cool. Yes, it does. Thank you, Nebula, for it. Okay. I have seen memes that say, I have learned Spanish for 2 years now. I am now as good as a native Spanish toddler. How true is this? Thank you for the question, Namita. And you also have another question that I will address. To be honest, I am not going to promise anybody that you can start learning Spanish in 2 months. Okay. It's not, imagine you are, I am 28 today. Okay, for 20, I started learning English when I was, I don't know, 4. Even today's I think people start learning English even sooner. What I mean to say is that even today I am an IELTS trainer, but even today there are some things that I'm confused with when it comes to English. Okay, so I have spent 28 years learning English, and even today I make some mistakes. So is 2 years enough for you to start speaking like a native? I am telling you, it is. I have live examples in front of me. A student of mine who learned, dedicated himself, but yes, you need dedication, dedicated himself to Spanish, and he learned Spanish faster than me. I took longer than him. Okay. So you can master the art of speaking Spanish nicely in a native, if you like, on a native level. If you dedicate to it in the sense, practice a little bit beyond your classes as well, and for sure you can speak like a native, much better than a Spanish toddler. I promise you. I mean, I it's the memes are a little baseless in that case. Probably just to laugh at. Okay. I hope that answers your question. It is possible to learn Spanish as a native. 2 years, it is possible in 1.5 year. It's possible if you dedicate to it. If you get the correct tutor and if you get the correct learning process. I'm emphasizing on this a lot because I have been to many classes when I was a student. So all that I am teaching right now is a culmination of all that went wrong, all that I want to correct in the learning process. I'll be very honest right there. Namita, you've asked me, is it necessary to have a Spanish certification to work in Spain? No. It depends on the field. But while you get your Spanish visa, it'll make the process easier. Also, it'll make it easier for you to live in Spain, because even though they speak English, especially in Barcelona, you will find a lot of people speaking English. But if you go to the central part of Spain, in Madrid, my own experience of living in Madrid, you need basic Spanish. At least you need A1 or A2 for you to enjoy living in that country, and for you to not always keep translating or need somebody else's help to put your points across. So there are certain fields where probably a Spanish certification is not compulsory or necessary. But I would say that if you want to enjoy your experience, or if you want to go to a Spanish speaking country or Spain, please learn at least A1 or A2 level before you can, go there. It'll also give you better opportunities for work later on, right? But yes, if you want to get like a really good position, depending on the field that you're in, HRM, for example, for sure, and A2 level, until A2 is, I think A1, A2 is mandatory. I hope that answers your question. Are there any other questions? You all can also leave a feedback, like after the talk is done, or you can leave a feedback of whether you liked the talk. What else do you want me to cover in my next talk about Spanish? And also, if you are interested in availing the services or in getting the classes, please drop me a message. Book the course; it's there on Nebula. We have a group sessions and personal guidance sessions as well. Okay. All right. I think that's all for today. Let me just stop sharing. Yeah. Thank you so much for attending, whoever attended this talk. And sorry for the initial glitch that happened. But I hope it was helpful, and I hope it helped you find the correct reasons. You know, Wha- if I were to take a recap, what are the correct reasons? I mean, if I were to choose a language, foreign language, just out of the blue, somebody tells me, which is that language you want to choose? I want to choose something which is easy to pronounce. Okay. Thank you, Tushar. Thank you for that time that you took out to write the comment. Thank you is, by the way, gracias. 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 All right. So, gracias to you guys as well. Easy pronunciation, grammar which is similar to English, fun language to speak and to listen, vibrant culture. All right. So, for me, these were my reasons. The easy part being the topmost for me to select Spanish 8 years ago, and you can do it today. Stress buster, update your CV for profession, US, second most spoken language in the world. All right. So, I mean, what more do you need, as motivation to start learning? So, yeah. please drop a message, and I will be more than happy to train you guys and help you guys. Okay. Bye. Adios. Adios is how you say adios. Gracias, Tushar. Thank you. Namita is typing. I was just about to end. I hope I have answered your questions. If you have more questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat after the talk. I'll be able to help you out. Thank you, Vishnupriya, for commenting. Adios. I hope you liked it.